Assalamu alaikum students. Now we will discuss the terminal characteristic of a separately excited DC generator. A terminal characteristic is the plot between output parameters in case of DC generator. That is, it is the plot of the output quantities of the DC generator versus each other. As we know, DC generator transforms mechanical power into electrical power. That is, the input power of the DC generator is the mechanical power and the output power of the DC generator is the electrical power. The terminal characteristic is the plot between the output parameters. The output parameters of the DC generators are terminal voltage and line current. There are two output parameters. The first one is terminal voltage and the second one is line current. So it will be plot between terminal voltage and line current. That is, the terminal characteristic of a separately excited DC generator is the plot between terminal voltage and line current. First of all, we will discuss the relationship between terminal voltage and line current. Then we will draw the graph between line current and terminal voltage. The equivalent circuit of a separately excited DC generator is shown here. As we have already discussed, this is the field circuit. The objective of the field circuit is to produce the flux in the DC generator. This is the armature circuit. By applying KVL, we get Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. This equation we have already discussed in the last lecture. By applying the KVL, we get Vt will be equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. When we connect the load, that is, when we connect the load across the armature, then the line current or armature current will increase. When we will increase the load, then the line current and armature current of the DC generator will increase. It means, as we know, in case of series circuit, Ia will be equal to IL. When we connect the load, then the line current will increase. When the line current will increase, then the armature current will increase as well, because in case of series circuit, the armature current will be equal to line current. When we increase the load gradually, then the line current and armature current will increase gradually. And in case of no load, the armature circuit will be open. In case of no load, the armature circuit will be open. As we know, in case of open circuit, the resistance will be infinity. If the resistance will be infinity, according to Ohm law, the value of the current will be 0. Therefore, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. In case of no load, the circuit will be open and the value of the line current will be equal to 0. Putting the value of Ia is equal to 0 in this equation, we get Vt is equal to Ea, because here the value of Ia is 0. By putting the value of Ia is equal to 0 in this equation, then this factor will be equal to 0 and the remaining equation will be Vt is equal to Ea. this is called the open circuit voltage. No load condition, or in case of no load, the voltage is called the open circuit voltage. And when we connect the load, then the line current will increase, because when the circuit will complete, then the current will start to flow in the circuit. When we will increase the load, then the current will increase as well. If the current will increase, then as we know, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. When the armature current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease, because the relationship between armature current and the terminal voltage is inversely proportional due to this minus sign. In case of inversely proportional, when the armature current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease as well. It means the relationship between armature or line current with terminal voltage is inversely proportional. That is, when we will increase the load, then the armature current or line current will increase. When the armature line current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease due to this minus sign. Now, we will draw the graph between line current and terminal voltage. The graph between line current and terminal voltage is shown here. This is the line current or armature current, and this is the terminal voltage. As we know, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. Ia is equal to IL, and the relationship between the armature current and the terminal voltage is inversely proportional due to this minus sign. So this is the line current or armature current, and this is the terminal voltage. In case of no load, as we have already discussed, in case of no load, then the line current or armature current will be zero. According to Ohm law, when the armature current will be zero, then the terminal voltage will be equal to Ea. That's why this point will be Ea, because in case of no load, Vt will be equal to Ea. This factor will become zero, because in case of no load, the armature current will be zero. When the current will be zero, 0 into Ra, this whole factor will be equal to 0, and the remaining equation will be equal to Vt is equal to Ea. That's why this point will be Ea in case of no load. In case of no load, the line current or armature current will be 0. Ea is called the internal generated voltage. Now here the important point is, the internal generated voltage will be constant throughout. It will not change by increasing or decreasing the load. Now the question is, why the internal generated voltage will be constant throughout? That is, when we will increase the load or decrease the load, there is no effect will occur in the internal generated voltage in case of separately excited DC generator. As we know, Ea is equal to K phi into omega. As we have already discussed, we will assume the speed of the generator will be constant, and the relationship between the flux and the field current is directly proportional. And in case of separately excited DC generator, there will be no effect on the internal generated voltage, because in case of separately excited DC generator, we connect the load across the armature winding. We are not connecting the load across the field winding, and the flux is produced due to the field winding, due to the field current. and we give the supply, we give a separate supply to the field winding. It means, and the load, we will connect the load across the armature winding. In case of separately excited DC generator, there will be no connection between field winding and the armature winding. That's why the flux in the DC generator will be constant in case of separately excited DC generator. If the flux is constant, then the internal generated voltage will be constant as well. That's why this will be the internal generated voltage, and the value of the internal generated voltage is constant, and the value of the internal generated voltage will not change by increasing the line current or decreasing the line current in case of separately excited DC generator. As when we will increase the load, then the line current or armature current will increase. When the armature current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease. It means the relationship between terminal voltage and the line current is inversely proportional. When the line current will increase, when we connect the load, then the current will increase. When the current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease and the curve will be like this. As you can see in this equation, the relationship between armature current or line current with terminal voltage is inversely proportional due to this minus sign. That's why the curve will be like this. When the current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease. This is the full load current. Now, as you can see in this graph, at this point this is the internal generated voltage, and when we connect the load and due to full load, this is the actual voltage, output voltage. The difference is basically occurred due to this factor, that is due to IA into RA. It means the voltage drop across the IA into RA. Due to this is the difference between internal generated voltage and the terminal voltage, because the voltage across the IA into RA factor will drop. So this is the complete graph between internal generated voltage and the terminal voltage. Now, this graph is correct if the machine has compensating winding. Now, this factor is also very important. If the machine has compensating winding, then this graph is correct. This is the final graph. But if the machine don't have compensating winding, as we have already discussed, without compensating winding, flux weakening problem exists. As we have already discussed in detail, when we connect the load, then the armature reaction will occur. Due to armature reaction, the value of flux will decrease. When the value of flux will decrease, as we know, the relationship between flux and speed is inversely proportional, and the relationship between flux and internal generated voltage is directly proportional. If there is no compensating winding in the DC generator, then due to armature reaction, flux will decrease. If the flux will decrease, as we know, the relationship between internal generated voltage and the flux is directly proportional. If the flux will decrease, then the internal generated voltage will decrease as well. As we know, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. When we connect the load, then the armature current will increase, and due to armature reaction, internal generated voltage will decrease if there is no compensating winding. So one Ia will increase and the internal generated voltage will decrease. Due to this, the terminal voltage will decrease more rapidly. As when we will increase the load, then the armature current will increase, and due to armature reaction, flux will decrease. When the flux will decrease, then the internal generated voltage will decrease, because the relationship between internal generated voltage and flux is inversely proportional, is directly proportional. When the flux will decrease, then due to armature reaction, then the internal generated voltage will decrease. Now, as we know, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. When the internal generated voltage will decrease, then the terminal voltage will decrease, because the relationship between internal generated voltage and terminal voltage is directly proportional. And due to load, current will increase. When the armature current will increase, then the terminal voltage will decrease as well. It means due to these two factors, the voltage will decrease more rapidly. Then the graph between line current and terminal voltage will be like this. If there is no armature reaction, then there will be no voltage drop due to flux weakening. If there is armature reaction, then the voltage will drop more rapidly, because due to armature reaction, internal generated voltage will decrease as well. So this is the graph. If there is a compensating winding and there is no armature reaction, then the voltage drop is only due to Ia into Ra. When there is no compensating winding and armature reaction exists, then the voltage will drop more rapidly, as you can see in this graph. So this is the very important point. However, it is important to realize that armature reaction can modify the characteristics if compensating windings are not present, as you can see in this curve. If there is a compensating winding, then the curve will be like this. Then the voltage drop will be less. If there is no compensating winding, then due to armature reaction, voltage drop will be more. So this is the very important point to remember. Now we will discuss the next topic. The next topic is the control of terminal voltage by a separately excited DC generator. The terminal voltage of separately excited DC generator can be controlled by changing the internal generated voltage EA. As you can see in this circuit, this is the equivalent circuit of a separately excited DC generator. The voltage source across the field winding is separate. There is no connection between armature winding and the field winding. If the voltage source across the field winding is separate, then this type of the DC generator is called the separately excited DC generator. As we have already discussed, Vt is equal to Ea minus Ia into Ra. When the value of Ea will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase. When the internal generated voltage will decrease, then the terminal voltage will decrease, because the relationship between internal generated voltage and terminal voltage is directly proportional. And also, as we know, internal generated voltage is equal to K phi into omega m, where omega is the speed, phi is the flux. As you can see in this equation, there are two possible ways to control the voltage or to control the internal generated voltage. To control the voltage, there are two possible ways. The first one is by changing the speed of rotation. That is, by changing the omega, by changing the speed of rotation, the internal generated voltage will change. As you can see in this equation, the relationship between internal generated voltage and the speed is directly proportional. When the speed will increase, then the internal generated voltage will increase. When the internal generated voltage will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase as well. And the second method is to control the terminal voltage by changing the field current. As we know, the relationship between field current and flux is directly proportional. When the field current will increase or decrease, then the flux will increase or decrease as well. By changing the flux, we can change the internal generated voltage. That is, by increasing the flux, then the internal generated voltage will increase. By decreasing the flux, then the internal generated voltage will decrease. When it means there are two possible ways, where K is the constant. We can't change the K. We only change two parameters. The first one is the speed and the second one is the flux. So that's why there are two methods. First one is by changing the speed of rotation, and the second one is by changing the field current. First of all, we will discuss the first method to control the terminal voltage. The first method is by changing the speed of rotation. As we know, if speed will increase, then EA is equal to K phi into omega. If the speed will increase, then the internal generated voltage will increase as well, because the relationship between internal generated voltage and speed is directly proportional. When the internal generated voltage will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase. As you can see in this relation, the relationship between internal generated voltage and the terminal voltage is directly proportional. When due to speed EA will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase. Now, the second method is by changing the field current, we can increase or decrease the internal generated voltage or terminal voltage. If RF decreases, that is, if the field resistance decreases, then according to Ohm law, as we have already discussed, IF is equal to VF over RF. When the RF will decrease, then the field current will increase. And as we know, the relationship between field current and flux is directly proportional. When the field current will increase, then the flux will increase as well. And EA is equal to K phi into omega. When the flux will increase, then the internal generated voltage will increase. And due to this, terminal voltage will increase as well. So, by using these two methods, we can change the terminal voltage or output voltage. We can increase the internal generated voltage or output voltage of the DC generator by changing the speed of rotation and by changing the field current. These two methods, we can apply these two methods to generate the more voltages. To increase the generation, we can apply these two methods. The speed range of the prime mover is quite limited. Normally in powerhouse, the speed is limited. We can't increase the speed from a certain level. So that's why the first method is limited. We can't apply everywhere. We can't increase speed regularly. So we only change, or we only control the voltage by changing the field current, because the second method is limited because the speed of any powerhouse is limited. We can't increase the speed. The only factor here we can increase or decrease is by changing the field current. When the field current will increase, then the flux will increase. When the flux will increase, then the internal generated voltage will increase. When the internal generated voltage will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase as well. So this is the graph, or this is the curve. When the IL will increase, then the terminal voltage will drop. If we increase the field current, then due to increase in flux, the internal generated voltage will increase. When the internal generated voltage will increase, then the terminal voltage will increase further, as you can see in this graph. This is the graph when we increase the field current. It means here we increase the field current. When the field current will increase, then when we will increase the flux, then the field current will increase. When the field current will increase, then the voltage will increase as well. Here the field or flux is less, that's why the internal generated voltage, that's why the terminal voltage is less. When we will increase the field current, flux will increase. Due to this, internal generated voltage will increase, and here the internal generated voltage and the terminal voltage is shifted above, because due to increase in field current, the terminal voltage are increasing. This is the full load current, IL. If this is the full load current, then this will be the actual terminal voltage. When we increase the field current, then the flux will increase. Due to this, the terminal voltage will increase. So now this is the full load current IL dash. Now as you can see in this curve, this is the new terminal voltage of the DC generator, VT dash. As you can see in this curve, by increasing the load, and this is called IL dash. In case of new terminal voltage curve, this is the actual terminal voltage VT dash, and this is the resultant between VT and IL. As we know, RL is equal to VT over IL, and this graph, there are 2 points. This is the first point and this is the second point. For operating point, RL will be equal to VT over IL. This is called the resistance curve. This curve is basically called the resistance curve. So for particular value of IA or IL, this will be operating voltage. For particular value of the load current or line current or armature current, this will be the operating point. When we increase the voltage, then this will be the operating point. When we will increase the further voltage, then the operating point will be shifted as well, as you can see in this resistive curve. If this is the terminal voltage, we increase the terminal voltage by increasing the field current. Now this will be the operating point IL double dash. Now we will discuss the non-linear analysis of separately excited DC generator. As we know, EA, the internal generated voltage, is the function of magnetomotive force or MMF, and as we know, MMF is equal to NF into IF. When the value of magnetomotive force will increase, it means the value of current will increase as well. And the relationship between the field current and the flux is directly proportional. And the relationship between internal generated voltage and the flux is directly proportional as well. And as we know, EA is equal to K phi into omega. In case of armature reaction, flux will decrease. As we have already discussed, due to armature reaction, flux will decrease. When the flux will decrease, then the field current will decrease as well, and the internal generated voltage will decrease as well, because the relationship between flux and the internal generated voltage and the field current is directly proportional. So as you can see in this equation, the internal generated voltage will start to decrease. This is the problem associated with the armature reaction. That is, due to armature reaction, internal generated voltage start to decrease. So this weakening influx can be quantified by another field current IF dash. As we know, net magnetomotive force is equal to actual magnetomotive force minus magnetomotive force due to armature reaction, because the magnetomotive force due to armature reaction is basically cancel the effect of actual magnetomotive force. That's why net magnetomotive force will be equal to actual magnetomotive force minus magnetomotive force due to armature reaction. Let net magnetomotive force is equal to NF into IF dash. Now, by putting the value of F net in this equation, we get NF into IF steric is equal to NF IF minus magnetomotive force due to armature reaction. Now, NF is here is multiplied with IF and divided by NF on both sides of the equation, we get IF steric will be equal to NF into IF over NF minus magnetomotive force due to armature reaction over NF. NF and NF will be cancelled out. The remaining equation of the field current will be IF steric is equal to IF minus magnetomotive force due to armature reaction divided by NF. By using this equation, we can calculate the new field current if there is no compensating winding. If there is a compensating winding, then IF steric will be equal to IF. There will be no armature reaction. If there is no compensating winding, then there will be armature reaction. Due to armature reaction, the field current will start to decrease. This will be the new value of field current called IF dash. This is the same nonlinear analysis as we have already done in the DC motors. There is no difference. This is the same analysis as we have already done in the DC motor in detail. So we can calculate, if there is no compensating winding, then we can calculate the field current after the reduction in actual field current by using this formula. As we have already discussed, by using the value of IF, we can find the internal generated voltage from the magnetization curve. We have already drawn the magnetization curve. In the magnetization curve is the curve in between internal generated voltage and the field current, and the curve will be like this, as we have already drawn this curve and also discussed in detail. Let this can be the value of IF. Let this is the value of IF. If there is no armature reaction, if we are using the compensating winding, then there is no armature reaction. Let this is the value of the field current, and due to field current, this is the internal generated voltage. Let's call it EA, and this is IF. When there will be armature reaction, when there will be no compensating winding, then there will be armature reaction exist. Then the field, as we have already discussed, due to armature reaction, flux will decrease, and the relationship between flux and the field current is directly proportional. When the flux will decrease, then the field current will decrease, and this will be the new field current due to armature reaction called IF steric, and this will be the new internal generated voltage EA naught. This is the voltage without armature reaction. Without armature, this is the field current IF, and this is the internal generated voltage. When there will be armature reaction, then this will be the new field current called IF steric, and this will be the new internal generated voltage called EA naught. Now the question is, how can we calculate the new speed? Because new speed or actual speed of the machine, because due to armature reaction, flux will decrease. Due to flux, then the field current will increase. It means the speed will change now. Now the question is, how can we calculate the new speed or actual speed of the machine? As EA naught is basically correspond to N naught speed, and EA is basically corresponding to N. The actual speed will be the ratio of EA over EA naught is equal to N over N naught. N is the actual speed and N naught is the no load speed. We normally draw this curve at no load speed. But if there is armature reaction, then the speed of the DC generator will change. If the speed will change, it means there will be change in the voltage occur. So that's why EA over EA naught will be equal to N over N naught. By using this formula, we can calculate the actual speed of the DC shunt of the separately excited DC generator. N is equal to EA over EA naught into N naught. N naught is the no load speed. That's it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss, we will solve a numerical.